She cried like someone had died. Full sobs, shaking shoulders, mascara rivers. But when I hit play on the voicemail, she didn't know I had. That performance ended real fast. My name is Noah Grant. I'm 34 years old, born and raised in St. Paul, Minnesota, but I live in Denver now. I work in IT, nothing glamorous. I manage cybersecurity systems for a mid-size healthcare company. Think keycards, firewalls, that kind of thing. I'm the guy in the office people only remembers when something breaks. Outside of work, I'm predictable. Same coffee order every morning, dark roast, splash of oat milk. One jog 3 times a week. Grill on Sundays. And I've been keeping a gratitude journal for the last 2 years because my therapist said it might help with anxiety. Spoiler, it actually does. And then there was Lena. We met the boring way on a dating app. Her profile said she loved spicy food, bad reality TV, and road trips to nowhere. She had this crooked smile in one photo that made her look like trouble, but in a good way. I swiped right. She messaged first. That was 4 years ago. The beginning. Felt like magic. She laughed at my bad puns. I pretended to like The Bachelor. We started seeing each other constantly cooking together, staying up late watching documentaries and cuddling on the couch while our cat, Mercury, claimed every blanket in the house. We moved in together after 10 months. Her idea, not mine. But I was all in. She made this rental house feel like a home. She painted our bedroom navy blue and hung a gallery wall of our memories Polaroids from our first trip to San Diego, movie ticket stubs, a goofy sketch I did of her in a coffee shop. I still remember how proud she looked when she framed it there. Were playlists we made together, a shared Spotify account. Hers had upbeat pop and Latin dance tracks. Mine had moody indie rock and lo-fi beats. Our driving together playlists had both. That meant something to me, but the cracks showed slowly. First, she stopped laughing at my jokes. Then, she got weird about her phone. She used to scroll on the couch next to me, open, casual. Now she tilted her screen away, always face down. She changed her passcode, said it was for privacy at work. We stopped cooking together, started ordering in. Fewer date nights, more nights where she'd say, "I'm exhausted," and go to bed early without even a goodnight kiss. And then came the moment I couldn't shake. She was in the kitchen, arguing with someone on the phone. She lowered her voice when I entered. When she hung up, I asked who it was. She said, "Work stuff," but her eyes didn't match her voice. That's when the knot in my stomach first formed. And it never really went away. Once that gut feeling planted itself, it didn't leave. And trust me, I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I'd watched too many of those Reddit relationship horror stories before bed, that I was letting my anxiety paint shadows where there weren't any. But shadows don't send flirty texts at 11 p.m. one night. We were on the couch watching Love is Blind, or rather, Lena kept smiling down at her phone, fingers tapping. Fast. I leaned over casually to glance at the screen, and just as quickly she locked it and flipped it upside down. "You don't trust me?" she asked, fake offended. "I didn't say anything," I replied. "You didn't have to." That was the start of the gaslighting. Every time I brought up how distant she seemed, she'd flip it back on me. "You're too sensitive. You're overthinking. Why do you always assume the worst?" It was like she'd taken a crash course in emotional manipulation. I stopped bringing things up, started watching instead. She began working late, a lot more sudden project deadlines. Impromptu team dinners? The problem was, she worked in HR. Not exactly the department pulling all dash-nighters. Her phone was permanently on Do Not Disturb. Her location sharing with me, which had been on since we moved in, was suddenly glitching. She said it was a phone update issue. Her outfits shifted to more heels, red lipstick on Wednesdays. Lena always cared about how she looked, but now it felt curated, like she was dressing for someone. One night, I noticed she left her laptop open on the kitchen counter. It had gone to sleep, but the faint light of a notification glowed. I tapped the TOUCHPAD. A new Slack message popped up. "Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about your hands." My breath caught. The username, just an emoji. I scrolled. Most messages were deleted, but I didn't need the words. The tone, The timing, the rhythm, it was intimacy. Flirty, coded intimacy. The kind that slips into daily routine only when someone's sure they won't get caught. When she came home that night, she kissed me on the cheek and asked if I wanted Thai food. Her voice sounded like music playing in the background of a horror. Movie sweet, cheerful, and completely disconnected from the danger on screen. That's when I knew. Not suspected. Not feared. Knew she was cheating. I didn't explode. I didn't confront her that night. I just said, "Pad Thai sounds great." Smiled like a man who hadn't just had his heart set on fire from the inside. I played dumb for the next few weeks. Collected little things, timestamps, messages, inconsistencies. I took screenshots of her Slack notifications when she left her laptop unattended. I noted when she said she was working late but didn't bring home her ID badge the next day. I even kept track of what she wore and when. The worst part? Still loved her. Even as I pieced together her betrayal, there was a part of me that wanted to be wrong, that begged for some other explanation. Something less cruel, something fixable. But the final nail came from her own mouth and she didn't even know it. See? One night she left in a rush. Said her boss needed help running interviews at 9 p.m. That didn't even make sense. But I just nodded, kissed her on the forehead, and let her go. As she backed out of the driveway, her phone lit up on the coffee table. She'd left it unlocked. I stared at it for a long minute, then I picked it up. I didn't even open the messages. I just went to her voicemails. There it was, saved message from a number with no name. I played it. "Hey babe, last night was incredible. I don't know how you do. It tacked so normal around him. I swear you should win an Oscar or something. Anyway, let's do Friday again. Same hotel?" My blood turned to ice. An Oscar, she was proud of how well she faked it. How easily she moved between our life and whatever that was. I hit record on my phone and played it against capturing it, saving it. That voicemail was my ticket out now. I'm not a dramatic guy. I didn't want a screaming match. Didn't want her to twist this into my fault, like she had with everything else. I wanted the truth to do all the talking. So I planned something small, quiet, surgical. It was a Sunday night. It's a kind we used to spend binge-watching murder documentaries with a bowl of popcorn between us. I made dinner her favorite, actually. Lemon chicken and rosemary potatoes. We sat, ate, and made small talk. Then I said, "Hey, you remember that voicemail from Spectrum that you said you deleted? It was about our bill or something." She blinked. Yeah. I think it came back. Okay? Can you listen and tell me if it's the same one?" I slid my phone across the table and hit play. She listened, and in 5 seconds her face drained of every last drop of blood. I watched the color leave her cheeks like a curtain falling. When it ended, she opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Then came the tears, big, dramatic sobs, quivering lips, shoulders shaking. "I didn't mean to. It wasn't like that. Tua was going to tell you, Noah. Love you, please." She sounded like a scene straight out of a soap opera. I could almost hear the sad piano music in the background, but I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I just looked at her and said, "Save it for the academy." Then I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and grabbed the small suitcase I'd packed the night before I left. I didn't slam the door, didn't look back. The funny thing about betrayal is, it doesn't hit all at once. It seeps, slow and sharp. Like a leaky pipe in the walls, you don't notice the damage until everything smells like rot. I spent that first night in a motel just off I-25. It smelled like bleach and old carpet. It was quiet. I sat on the edge of the bed, fully dressed, staring at the muted glow of a TV I never turned on. My phone buzzed non-stop calls, texts, missed FaceTimes. I didn't answer. The next day, I called my buddy Caleb, the kind of friend who shows up without asking questions. He helped me grab my essentials from the house while Lena was at work. I packed everything that was mine and nothing that reminded me of her. Left behind the records we bought together, the Cat Mercury was technically hers, and the stupid framed sketch she once loved. I didn't even take the Spotify login. Let her have our playlists. Let her try to dance to those songs without choking. On the memory, she texted for days. Please talk to me. I messed up, but I still love you. You're overreacting. I was just lonely. He didn't mean anything. You're the only one who ever really saw me. It was like watching someone drown in their own lies and still. Try to convince me it was just a little rain. Then the guilt bombs came. She called my mom. Reached out to mutual friends. She told everyone we had a fight and that I left out of nowhere, but I had receipts, literal ones, screenshots, voicemails. I didn't need to speak badly of her. I just showed people the truth. The fallout hit her fast. Turns out, the guy she was seeing was also in a relationship. His girlfriend found out. Lena didn't just lose me, she lost him too. And then, piece by piece, she started losing her. Grip on the carefully crafted story she'd been spinning for years. One of her best friends, Marissa, called me. I didn't know, she said. She told us you were the distant one, controlling. That stung, but I wasn't surprised. It was always projection with Leno. She saw herself in every accusation she threw at me. I stayed with Caleb for a few weeks, started therapy again, bought a new journal, wrote down one thing every day I didn't miss about her. Day 3, the way she always left dishes to soak but never washed them. Date, her weaponized tears. Day 11, the silence in our bed, how even cuddling started to feel like lying. Day 17, her voice saying you're being dramatic. The little things add up. She tried to show up once outside my office, wearing a hoodie, no makeup, eyes puffy. I walked right past her. She messaged me later that night. You used to care. Didn't reply because the man she cheated on? Yeah, he cared. A lot. Too much, maybe. But that man was gone now, and the one replacing him didn't owe her closure. It's been 6 months. I've moved into a small apartment downtown. Exposed brick, big windows, a kitchen that gets way too hot when I cook. It's quiet, but I like the stillness, like waking. Up without knots in my stomach. I like that Mercury's not here to jump on the counter, but also, I like not having to wonder who else she's curled up with when I'm not home. I kept the lemon chicken recipe. Cook it once in a while. Not to remember her, but to remind myself that good things can stay good, even if the people who shared them didn't. Therapy's going well. My therapist said something that stuck. You didn't lose a partner. You lost an illusion. That hit hard, because I didn't just grieve Lena. I grieved the future. I pictured our wedding playlist. The kids we named but never had. The aging together part. I grieved the version of her that only existed in my hope, not in reality. I still think about the voicemail sometimes. Not because it hurts, but because it reminds me how close I came to staying with someone who saw love as a performance. Could cry on cue, but never once meant it. I've started dating again, slowly, carefully. I'm not looking for fireworks. I'm looking for real. Someone who doesn't need to act their way through love. Someone whose silences feel safe, not suspicious. I'm not healed. Not fully, but I'm healing. And that version of me. The one who second-guessed his gut. The one who believed the tears even when the truth screamed louder. He's not gone, but he's wiser now. He listens to silence differently. He trusts the way his stomach knots up when something's wrong. He walks away from performances and holds tight to authenticity, even when it's messy, even when it's hard. And Lena, she got the house. She got the playlists. She got whatever version of herself she thought she wanted to become me. I got my peace. And it turns out, it's worth more than any apology she never had the courage to give. If you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories like this.